Hey guys, welcome to another Elo Mistakes, featuring Baron calls, something you're all familiar with. Games are won and lost at Baron usually at the same time, because people don't know how to make Baron calls, especially at lower Elo. I've seen Trick2G's videos. He says that up high Elos they make bad mistakes all the time. I like to think it's 10 times worse down here, but I don't know. I don't have a perspective. I don't have two perspectives. I've never been to Platinum or Diamond or Challenger, so I don't have anything to compare it to. Anyway, I like to think that the main reason bad Baron calls happen is because people think with their gut. And there's only one thing sitting in your gut, and you shouldn't be thinking with it. So, too long didn't watch version. There's a time and a place for Baron, and you gotta know what it is. Okay, the first Baron call is about to come up in just a second. I'll pull off the scoreboard here. That's Renekton. He pings Baron, but is now really a good time to do Baron. Well, look at their team. They have Fiora over here, and they have Brand over here, and we're all level 13, 12. I'm probably the highest level on our team. Yeah, 13, shared with Renekton. We cannot burn down Baron fast enough. And we didn't know this, but they have a ward here too, so they would have known something was going down. This was not the right time for Baron. Their team fight is just too strong right now. You haven't seen it, but we lost pretty hard. Even though their carry is bot lane, they don't need their carry when we're all in the pit fighting Baron. Baron is the other team's 5th player. So whenever their team is high AoE damage, you want to avoid early Baron fights, because if you're in the pit and you're against an AoE team, it's not going to be fun. Like Renekton pinged it because Wukong was down. He thought we could, because the smite was down, that we could steal it. But in all honesty, like 22 minutes in the game, death timer's just not long enough. We didn't go for the Baron. I told them about that, and the team decided to agree with me. So as you can see, everything went fine. I think Renekton kills Fiora here. Oh yeah, that's why he got his butt saved. Very nice. Okay, here's the next Baron call. It's not ideal. What happens is we lose a bad engage by Renekton. He dives in. We tried to follow up, but we were split around the blue buff, so we couldn't follow up. Now, this Baron call would normally seem like a pretty good idea, but they don't have Fiora. And Fiora's their DPS right now. Like, Wukong's okay, but they just don't have the damage to take this Baron down in 20 seconds. Like, they needed a full minute on Baron, and they might get away with it. But, as you can see, they were too low. They didn't have their DPS. Nidalee snipes Thresh, so it becomes 3 on Baron, and they don't really have a dedicated tank. So that's sad times for them. What went wrong there? You can't go on Baron after a team fight if your tank is down. And I think Wukong's supposed to be building tank this game. I can check. Wukong, no, he went more bruiser. But without their tank, they just couldn't handle the damage on Baron. And Caitlyn doesn't do enough damage quick enough. Caitlyn's a siege champion. And it looks like we have our next Baron call. This time by us. I wasn't even planning that. This was probably my call. I saw that their jungler was down. and we have a pretty beefy lineup. Oh, I remember this Baron fight. Renekton splits, but I tell him to come over here. That's my assistant's ping over there. And really, this could have been a really big throw. What I was trying to do is have the team hold them off long enough for me to handle Baron, because I can do a lot of DPS on Baron. And what happens here is Fiora dives for our friend Lucian. I stun her, we kill her, and Fiora is really the damage on their team. Once Fiora goes down, I smite the Baron since they decide to disengage, and there's a Baron call. What? And then we the Wukong re-engage will take me down in just a second. We didn't really need that Baron. That was actually an okay Baron call. I was pretty desperate then because our inhibitor was down, but it worked out. Ideally, we could have sieged them up a bit more with Nidalee Spears, poked them down so they wouldn't think about engaging. But all's well that ends well for that one. How about we tack on a low elo fail, because I remember this fight. I saw this fight, you know, and I think it's actually a pretty good example of what not to do. So what's going to happen here is Nidalee's going to step on the trap, and then Wukong is going to ult without stealthing in first. So he has to burn his flash to get in the face. And from there, our front line is just sitting on their I'd say mid line, or I wouldn't call it back line, but the point is we just have so much tank that they can't burst us down. We get out, we take 3, we lose 1. They don't have a dedicated tank, so what's happening is Wukong is building armor right now, and everyone else is building damage with the exception of Thresh. Thresh is most likely building health. Yeah. Building his support items. Tanks are quite necessary. Try to always have at least one on your team. Okay, here's the last Baron call of the game, and it's mine again. They ping Baron too, but what's going on here is the reason I pinged Baron, because they had this line of super minions coming into their base right now. We just cleared their vision, so if we start a Baron, it is blind. They'll know we're doing it, but they won't be able to effectively siege in on it without face checking it. We have the entire area warded. They have to handle these minions over here, and you know, true, they are topside with the Baron, so they could try to kill us and then get back to base in time. I'm gonna let the clip roll out. And what happens is I couldn't get my team to follow up on the Baron because Lucian decided to he needed a Banshee's Veil, so he decided to farm up for it and then recall. And then we just sort of fart around over here, and I'm like, I start pinging Baron again because they see their Nexus. They have to defend it. I even start the Baron, but since my team doesn't follow up, I decide to go help out with the siege. Now the reason, I'll let this play out since it's the last Baron call that gets made. The reason we should have went for Baron there is because there was pressure on the map elsewhere, and we had full vision control. If they try to stop the Baron, they would have lost their base. If they didn't try to stop the Baron, we would have gotten Baron, and yeah, the game would have stalled out a little bit longer. But it's better to stall the game out a bit longer and come out ahead than it is to try to rush a win and then not get it. I'll put the speed up, but I'll just let the run out. When you want to go for Baron, you want first of all, you'd want a man advantage and you'd want a vision advantage. In other words, don't try to Baron 2v5, and don't try to Baron if you're blind and you think they might be there, or don't walk in if you know they're probably there. You know, if you don't have vision control, going to Baron is risky business. Like, there's nothing worse than face checking a Baron and seeing the entire enemy team, you get killed, your team's following up behind you to like help you out, and then they get killed, and then the enemy team not only gets Baron, they get 3 or 4 kills and they ace your base. Now, we took that Baron there because we saw them fall 5 bot and they were chasing Italy. I wouldn't call that a Baron call as much as it's just common sense. But yeah, when you're going for Baron, have vision control, have a man advantage if possible. Like, it's okay to do close fights with it. You always want to have your smite, and there are certain champions who don't want to try to Baron under if they know you're there. Lucian's one of them. You need a body block for his ultimate, and then body blocking his ultimate cuts you down a bit. You want pressure on the map elsewhere, if possible. Like, you want a top inhib or a bottom inhib down. Mid inhibitor, in all honesty, the mid inhibitor alone means nothing, if you ask me. Like, yeah, it's super minions, but if everyone's forcing up and down mid anyway, it's not like they're applying pressure. Renekton tries to finish the game by himself. He gets himself killed. So yeah, man advantage, vision advantage, and map pressure. Those are the reasons you should go for Baron. Have a smite always. If you try to Baron without smite, as a jungler, I am highly offended, and I would say uninstall, but then I would get banned. There are so many ways to lose this game, and Baron is like the biggest offender, and it makes me cry when I see perfectly winnable games get lost because bad Baron calls. Here's the secret: we won the game. Yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. It'll save you a lot of games.